Welcome to A Friendly Atheist. Um, this topic is about people who say, well, atheism is a religion itself, or it has become a religion because the way it's dogmatic with many people, etc. Me and my wife were discussing this a few days ago, and she was kind of making that claim. And I'd heard it before, so it was real easy to rebut. Whether she agrees or not, I don't know. But I explained to her my thoughts on that assumption. Okay, religion is the belief in a super being or superpower that controls all destiny in one form, one manner, or another. Uh, there's someone or something watching you who has power over you, and you show your appreciation as a human to that entity, or your maybe even more than appreciation, your devotion, okay? Your utter lack of just total faith is not acceptable. You have to just totally, utterly, completely have faith in that entity. That's religion. Atheism is the opposite of all that. Complete opposite. So how do people get that atheism is a religion itself? Well, in some ways I can see their argument. You get a lot of atheists who are dogmatic about uh, their beliefs. In atheism, we really shouldn't be going on beliefs. Not in the way that religious people do. For example, if you're a Catholic of different sorts, of some sorts, you don't believe in abortion at all. Um, whereas an atheist, for example, you shouldn't believe in that Neanderthals were killed off by Cro-Magnon man. You may assume that for the time being and accept that that can change. That's a true atheist. An atheist will look at Neanderthals. What we have right now, we suspect that they were probably killed off by Cro-Magnons. I mean, let's admit, coexist is ridiculous. People just don't do that. Look throughout the world. So Cro-Magnons probably didn't coexist with Neanderthals. They probably killed them off because Cro-Magnons were probably much more numbers, maybe much more numbers, and other resources, tools, etc. Or, and there is some, we do know that there is people with Neanderthal DNA. Well, that doesn't mean that Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons got along. That means that, Neanderthals were pretty ugly people in our comparison. We are Cro-Magnons today. We're Cro-Magnons, and our ancestors who ran into the Neanderthals were Cro-Magnons. So we probably can assume what happened there. But we don't, but that's subject to change. That's the thing with the atheists. That's my point. That's subject to change. That theory, those theories, those hypotheses can change. Whereas with religion, Noah's Ark really did happen. And there's no way you're going to convince some people that it didn't. Now, some people have made, concessions and said, oh, well, okay, it's a fable. And that's fine. And that's the difference between atheism and that was kind of a long-rounded explanation. The difference between atheism and religion is religion, it mostly doesn't change. The Bible is the Bible, and I use the Bible as an example. The Quran is the same, etc. But the Bible is the Bible. What's written in there is the Word, period. Gospel. Whereas science books can change, and a lot of people will criticize that. Well, religious people will say, well, if science can change, then it's not really all that reliable. Well, that's just the nature of science. That's what science is. It can change. Mostly it's minute, like in evolution, human evolution. It does change a little bit, but very minutely. Whereas the Bible hasn't changed at all since the days of ignorant people during ignorant times. Cutting off the foreskin of your penis is a sacrament to God. That's where that whole circumcision thing comes from. Well, there is some historical evidence that it may have developed before that, but it probably was a religious thing, which it's so weird. That's odd. Who came up with that? Who was the guy that sat there and said, as a sacrament to God, let's cut off our foreskin of our penis? And what other guys said, sounds like a good idea to me? But anyway, I digress there. But religion can't really change its mind. Science's mind, atheists should be able to change their minds. If Jesus came down right now and proved to me, and I knew it wasn't a magic trick, I knew it wasn't David Blaine or something, I would get right on here and say, hey, I was wrong, folks. Praise Jesus, amen. But nothing like that has happened. Nothing. The history of the Bible, where it comes from, and I'll make videos on some of that and stuff too. But that's just to shorten this a little bit. I'm trying to give some examples of the differences between religion and atheism. Atheism cannot be a religion because by definition, atheism without God is basically the translation of atheism. Without God. We're not worshiping anything. I don't worship anything. If it comes out to find out that Charles Charles Darwin had other theories, I mean, look at what was his name? I can never remember his name. But the scientist who the apple falling off the tree and hit him in the head and gravity and blah blah blah. I just can't think of his name right now. But anyway, and it'll probably pop into me after the video. But anyway, he spent his entire life with many theories that actually came to fruition that he never even turned in, that no one ever found till after he died. But he also was an alchemist, and he also was trying to prove that there was a God. He believed in a God no matter what. But notice how his science kept going forward. So, and that's okay. That's fine, as long as you can distinguish the two. And many scientists today do that as well, and that's perfectly acceptable. But religion is, again, and finally, religion is a belief. Atheism is, you've got to show me, you've got to prove to me. Now, some atheists can be very dogmatic, and I get that's probably where a lot of theists get the whole, atheism is a religion, and we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be dogmatic. Everything's subject to change. It's science. I believe in science. I'm an atheist because I believe in science. I'm not an atheist because I want to be an atheist. I would love to believe in something out there after you die and you go off to this wonderful place. That'd be cool as hell. Well, maybe not hell, but, anyway. But, yeah, that would be cool. I don't believe because there's nothing to show to me, to prove to me that there's any evidence of such. And that's the difference. Atheism can't be a religion because, by definition, it is the disbelief in an afterlife or God or gods, etc., entities, super entities. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. And, I don't know. Thank you. Bye.